The threat of species extinction. What is happening to our wildlife? Imagine a world without the chirping of birds or the buzzing of bees. Human activities like deforestation, pollution, and climate change are accelerating species extinction. According to Cerberus, modern human activities have significantly increased the rate of species loss, which estimates suggesting that we are entering the sixth mass extinction. The destruction of ecosystems, the loss of habitats, and the climate disruptions are pushing countless species to the brink of extinction, leaving us to wonder what kind of a world we will leave behind for future generations. Is it it is imperative that we take action now to protect the biodiversity that sustains us all. Why biodiversity matters? The answer is simple. Biodiversity is the foundation of healthy ecosystems, and those ecosystems are essential to life on Earth. Biodiversity keeps ecosystems healthy and impacts the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, and the food that we eat. It, its loss affects both the environment and human well-being. From pollinators that are responsible for crop production to trees that filter out air, every species plays a role in maintaining the balance of nature. As Fraser says, the loss of biodiversity affects not only the ecosystems, but also the human economies, particularly those dependent on natural resources. Without biodiversity, ecosystems lose their resilience, and this leads to environmental degradation that impacts all of us. Protecting biodiversity isn't just about saving animals, it's also about securing a stable, healthy planet for ourselves and for future generations. Wildlife at risk. Across the globe, species are disappearing due to human interference, and it's become a huge problem. Things like deforestation, illegal poaching, habitat destruction, and the impacts of climate change are pushing wildlife into danger. For example, the African elephant, which is facing threats from both poaching from for ivory and habitat loss, is in critical danger of extinction. Roberts emphasizes the importance of corporate accountability and addressing the destruction of wildlife habitats, particularly in areas affected by industrial activities. Every time we lose a species, we are eroding the complex web of life that supports all living creatures. It is a loss that affects ecosystems, economies, and humanity itself. We must work together to protect these species before they're gone forever, before they're like the dinosaurs and the future generations don't recognize them. Pollution's deadly impact. One of the most insidious causes of species extinction is pollution. Pollution poisons ecosystems, harms species, and threatens human health. Every year, millions of tons of plastic waste end up in the oceans, choking marine life and destroying coral reefs. According to Matthias, species area relationships show that as pollution increases, the habitats necessary for species survival decreases, leading to more extinctions. Toxic chemicals from industrial activities seep into rivers and lakes, poisoning aquatic species and disrupting food chains. The air we breathe is filled with pollutants that affect everything from the smallest insects to the largest mammals. Pollution is just not an environmental issue, it's a global health crisis that impacts all of us. To protect wildlife, we need to address pollution as its sources by reducing waste, cutting emissions, and cleaning up contaminated areas. It's not just affecting wildlife, it's affecting me and you. There's been studies that show that humans are consuming many microplastics in everyday food. But what can we do? So, what can we do to stop this crisis? There are several actions that we can take to protect wildlife and combat species extinction. So, we could support conservation efforts, reduce plastic use, support eco-friendly industries, and advocate for stronger environmental protections. Whether through we can support conservation efforts, whether through donations to wildlife organizations or by volunteering our time to help preserve endangered species in their habitats. Subbullets highlights the importance of supporting large-scale conservation initiatives to halt species loss. Reducing plastic use is another important step. By using less plastic, we can reduce pollution and protect the marine and wildlife. Supporting eco-friendly industries that prioritize sustainable practices and promoting conservation policies at local, national, and global levels are also essential ways to help. Finally, advocating for stronger environmental protections will ensure that conservation remains a top priority in governments worldwide, which is very important for our health, wildlife, trees, plants, animals. Reaching out for a change. As part of my advocacy efforts, I reached out to the Big Life Foundation, an organization dedicated to protect wildlife in Africa. I wrote to Big Life Foundation to learn more about their conservation work in Africa and to ask people worldwide can support efforts to save wildlife. I wrote to them to learn more about their work, particularly on human activities impacting wildlife across the continent and what can be done to reverse the damage. In my letter, I express my concern about the state of global biodiversity and the importance of supporting organizations like Big Life that are on the front lines of conservation. I also asked how individuals can get involved and contribute to efforts to save endangered species by reaching out to organizations like Big Life. We can learn more about our actions and can support global wildlife conservation efforts. I chose this foundation in general because I thought it was a really good foundation and I've seen a lot of their stuff and how they work with animals. So thank you. Together, we can make a big difference and protect the planet for future generations. Protecting wildlife and combating species extinction is not just a task for a few, it's a responsibility for us all. Every small action counts, whether it's reducing waste, supporting conservation efforts, or even simply spreading awareness about the importance of biodiversity. By working together, we can ensure the future generations will inherit this rich planet filled with wildlife and natural beauty. And it's very important to know that our future generation can see what we saw while we were growing up. So I thank you for your time. I hope this inspires you to take action in your own life to protect the environment. Just by simply recycling can be so important.